Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Genesis 31 to 36, Proverbs 4, and Psalm 97. Let's get started. Now Jacob heard that the sons of Laban were saying, Jacob has taken all that was our father's, and from what was our father's he has gained all this wealth. And Jacob saw that Laban did not regard him with favour as before. And the Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I will be with you. Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah into the field where his flock was, and said to her, I see that your father does not regard me with favour as he did before, but the God of my father has been with me. You know that I serve your father with all my strength, yet your father has cheated me and changed my wages 10 times. But God did not permit him to harm me. If he said, the spotted shall be your wages, then all the flock bore spotted. And if he said, the striped shall be your wages, then all the flock bore striped. Thus God has taken away the livestock of your father and given them to me. In the breeding season of the flock I lifted up my eyes and saw that in a dream that the goats that made with the flock were striped, spotted, and mottled. And the angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift up your eyes and see, all the goats that mate with flock are striped, spotted, and mottled. For I have seen that all that Laban is doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and made a vow to me. Now rise, go out of this land, and return to the land of your kindred. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, Is there any portion of inheritance left to us in our father's house? Have we not regarded him by him as foreigners? For he has sold us, and he has indeed devoured our money. All the wealth that God has taken away from our father belongs to us and to our children. Now then, whatever God has said to you, do. And Jacob arose and set his sons and his wives on camels. He drove away all his livestock and all his property that he had gained, and the livestock in his possession that he had acquired in Padan Aram, and go to the land of Canaan to his father Isaac. Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel stole her father's household goods. And Jacob tricked Laban the army by not telling him that he intended to flee. He fled with all that he had and arose and crossed the Euphrates. Then he set his face toward the hill country of Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob had fled. He took his kinsman with him and pursued him for 7 days, and followed close after him into the hill country of Gilead. And God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream by night, and said to him, Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. And Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country. In the hill country of So Jacob arose and set his sons and wives on camels. And Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country, and Laban with his kinsmen pitched tents in the hill country of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What have you done, that you have tricked me and driven away my daughters like captives of the sword? Why did you flee secretly and trick me, and did not tell me so that I might have sent you away with mirth and songs, with tambourine and lyre? And why did you not permit me to kiss my sons and daughters farewell? Now you have done foolishly. It is in my power to do you harm. But the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. And now you have gone away, because you longed greatly for your father's house. Now why did you steal my gods? Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I thought that you would take your daughters from me by force. And anyone with whom you find your gods shall not live. In the presence of our kinsmen point out that what I have, that is yours, and take it. Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the tent of the 2 female servants. And he did not find them. And he went out of Leah's tent and entered Rachel's. Now Rachel had taken the household gods and put them in the camel's saddle and sat on them. Laban felt all about the tent, and did not find them. And he said to her father, Let not my lord be angry that I cannot rise before you, and the way of woman is upon me. So he searched, but did not find the household gods. And Jacob became angry and berated Laban. Jacob said to Laban, What is my offense? What is my sin, that you hotly pursued me? For you fell through all my goods. What have you found of all your household goods? Set it here before my kinsmen and your kinsmen, that they may decide between us two. These 20 years I have been with you. Your ewes and your female goats have not miscarried, and I have not eaten the rams of your flocks. And what was torn by wild beasts I did not bring to you. I bore the loss of it myself. From the hand you required it, neither stolen by day or stolen by night. There I was. By day the heat consumed me, and the cold by night, and my sleep fled from my eyes. These 20 years I have been in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock, and you have changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been on my side, surely now you would have sent me away empty-handed. God saw my affliction and laid my hands and rebuked you last night. Then Laban answered and said to Jacob, the daughters are my daughters, the children are my children, the flocks are my flocks, and all that you see is mine. But what can I do this day for these daughters and for their children whom they have borne? Come now, let us make a covenant, you and I. Let it be a witness between you and me. So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. And Jacob said to Jacob, gather stone. So they took stones and made a heap, and they ate there by the heap. Laban called it Jegar-Sahadath, but Jacob called it Gilead. Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me today. Therefore he named it Gilead and Mizpah, for he said, the Lord watch between you and me, and when we are out of one another's sight. If you oppress my daughters, or if you take wives beside my daughters, though no one is with us, see, God is witness between you and me. Then Laban said to Jacob, see this heap and the pillar which I have set between you and me. This heap is a witness, and the pillar is a witness, that I will not pass over the heap to you. And you will not pass over this heap and this pillar to me to do harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, the judge between us. So Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. And Jacob offered a sacrifice in the hill country and called his kinsmen to eat bread. They ate bread and spent the night in the hill country. Early in the morning, Laban arose and kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned home. Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's camp. So he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, and Manasseh, the country of Edom, instructing them, thus you shall say to my lord Esau, thus says your son Jacob, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed until now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, male servants, and female servants. I have sent to tell my lord, in order that I may find favor in your sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to your brother Esau, and he is coming to meet you, and there are 400 men with him. And Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people who were with him, and the flocks and herds and camels, and into 2 camps, thinking, if Israel comes to the one camp and attacks it, when the camp that is left will escape. And Jacob said, the God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who said to me, return to your country and to your kindred, that I may do you good. I am not worthy of the least of all the deeds of your steadfast love, and all the faithfulness that you have shown your servant. For with only my staff I crossed the stream, and now I have become 2 camps. Please deliver me from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him. He may come and attack me, the mothers with their children. And you say, but you say, oh, surely do you good, and make offspring as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. So he stayed there that night, and from what he had with him he took a present for his brother Esau, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 13 milking camels and their cubs, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys, and these he handed over to his sons, every drove by itself, then said to his servant, pass on ahead of me and put a space between drove and drove. He instructed the first, when Esau my brother meets you and asks you, to whom do you belong, where are you going, and whose are these ahead of you? Then you shall say, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are presents sent to my lord Esau. And moreover, he is behind us. He is likewise instructed the second and the third, and all who follow the droves. You shall say the same thing to Esau when you find it. Then you shall say, moreover, your servant Jacob is behind us. Well, he thought, I may appease him with the present that goes ahead of me, and afterward I shall see his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So the present passed on ahead of him, and he himself stayed that night in the camp. And that same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and everything else that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day is breaking. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. And he said, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed. And Jacob asked him, please tell me your name. And he said, why is it that you ask my name? And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, for I have seen God's face to face, and yet my life is being delivered. The sun rose upon him as he passed Peniel, lifting bits of his head. Therefore to the day the people of Israel did not eat the sinew of the thigh that is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip on the sinew of the thigh. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was coming, and 400 men with him. And so he divided the children among Leah and Rachel, and the two female servants. And he put the servants with their children in front, and Leah with her 2 children. And Rachel and Joseph lost a bull. He himself went on before, bowing himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him. And they wept. And Esau lifted up his eyes, and saw the woman and children. And they said, Who are these with you? Jacob's children whom God has graciously given his son. And the servants drew near, and their children, and bowed down. Leah likewise and their children drew near, and bowed down. And at last Joseph and Rachel drew near, and they bowed down. Esau said, What do you mean by all this coming to me? And I know. Jacob answered, I find favor in the sight of my Lord. Now Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Eat what you have for yourself. Jacob said, No, please, if I have found favor in your sight, then set my present from my hand. For I have seen your face, which is like seeing the face of God, and you have accepted me. Please accept my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have it all. Thus he urged him, and he took it. Then Esau said, Let us go our way, and I will go ahead of you. Jacob said to him, The Lord knows that the children are frail, and the nursing flocks and herds are a care to me. If they are driven hard for one day, all the flocks will die. Let my Lord pass on ahead of his servant, and I will lead on slowly, at the pace of the livestock that are ahead of me, and at the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord and stay. So Esau said, Let me leave with you some of the people who are with me. But he said, What need is there? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built himself a house, and made booths for his livestock. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, on his way from Padan. And he camped from before the city. And from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, he bought for 100 pieces of money the piece of land on which he pitched his tent. And there he erected an altar and called it El Elohe Israel. Now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had born to Jacob, went out to see the woman of the land. And when Shechem the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her, and he seized her and lay with her and humiliated her. And his soul was drawn to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the young woman and spoke tenderly to her. So Shechem spoke to his father Hamor, saying, Let me this girl for my wife. Now Jacob heard that he had defiled his daughter Dinah. His sons were with his livestock in the field. So Jacob held his peace until they came. And Hamor the father of Shechem went out to Jacob to speak with him. The sons of Jacob had come in from the field as soon as they heard of it. And the men were indignant and very angry, because he had done an outrageous thing in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter. For such a thing must not be done. And Hamor spoke with him, saying, So my son Shechem longs for your daughter. Please give her to him to be his wife, and make marriages with us. Give your daughters to us, and then take our daughters for yourself. You shall dwell with us, and the land shall be open to you. You go and trade in it, and get property in it. Shechem is a son, and to her father, and to her brothers. Let me find favor in your eyes, and whatever you say to me, I'll give. Ask me for as great a bride price and gift as you will, and I'll give whatever you say to me. Then give me the young woman to be my wife. The sons of Jacob answered Shechem and his father Hamor deceitfully, because he had defiled their sister Dinah. They said to him, We cannot do this, to give our sister to one who is uncircumcised, for that would be a disgrace to us. And under this condition will we agree with you. Now you will become to as we are by every male among you being circumcised. And we will give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters to ourselves, and we will dwell with you and become one people. But if you will not listen to us and be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. Their words pleased Hamor and Hamor's son Shechem, and the young man did not delay to do the thing, because he delighted in Jacob's daughter. And now he was the most honored of all in his father's house. So Hamor and his son Shechem came to the gate of their city and spoke to the men of the city, saying, These men are at peace with us, let them dwell in the land and trade in it, for behold, the land is large enough for them. Let them take their daughters as wives, and let us give them our daughters. And on this condition will the men agree to dwell with us to become one people. When every male among us is circumcised as they are circumcised, but not their livestock, their property, and all their beasts be ours. And then let us agree with them, and they will dwell with us. And all who went out of the gate of the city listened to Hamor and his son Shechem. And every male was circumcised, and all who went out of the gate of his city. On the third day when they saw 2 of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords and came against the city, and while it fell secure, and killed all the males. They killed Hamor and his son Shechem with the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went away. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and plundered the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their flocks and herds, and their donkeys, and whatever was in the city, and in the field, all their wealth, all their little ones and their wives, and all that was in the house they captured and plundered. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have brought trouble on me by making me stink to the inhabitants of the land. The Canaanites and the Perizzites, my numbers are few, and if they gather themselves against me and attack me, I shall be destroyed, both I and my household." But they said, "Should he treat our sister like a prostitute?" And God said to Jacob, "Arise, go up to Bethel and dwell there. Make an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother Esau." So Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, "Put away the foreign gods that are among you, and purify yourselves, and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I may make there an altar to the God who answers me, and answers me in the day of my distress, and have been with me." Has been with me wherever I have gone. So they gave to Jacob all the foreign gods that they had, and the raves that were in their ears. Jacob hid them under the terebinth tree that was near Shechem. And as they journeyed, a terror from God fell upon the cities that were around them, so that they did not pursue the sons of Jacob. And Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, and he and all the people who were with him. And there he built an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there God had revealed himself to him when he fled from his brother. And Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried under an oak below Bethel. And he called his name Alan-Bakuth. God appeared to Jacob again, and he came from Padan Aram and blessed him. And God said to him, "Your name is Jacob. No longer shall your name be called Jacob, but Israel shall be your name." So he called his name Israel. And God said to him, "I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and company of nations shall come from you, and kings shall come from your own body. The land that I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I'll give to you. And I'll give the land to your offspring after you." And God went up from him in the place where he had spoken with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he had spoken with him, a pillar of stone. He poured out a drink offering on it and poured oil on it. So Jacob called the name of the place where God had spoken with him Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel. And when they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel went into labor, and she had hard labor. And when her labor was at its hardest, the midwife said to her, "Do not fear, for you have another son." And as his soul was departing, she called his name Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died, and she was buried on her way to Ephrath. And Jacob set up a pillar over her tomb. It is the pillar of Rachel's tomb, which is there to this day. Esau journeyed on and pitched his tent below the tower, beyond the tower of Edom. While Israel lived in that land. And Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard of it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Isaac, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's son, Dan and Naphtali. The sons of Zilpah, Leah's son, Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padan Aram. And then Jacob came to his father Isaac and Mamre, or Kiriath Arba, where Abraham and Isaac had sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac breathed his last, and he died and was gathered to his people, old and full of days. And the sons Esau, and Jacob buried him. These are the generations of Esau. Esau took his wives from the Canaanites: Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, the sister of Nebaioth. And Adah bore to Esau Eliphaz. Basemath bore Reuel, and Aholibamah bore Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives, his sons, and his daughters, all the members of his household, his livestock, all his beasts, and all his property that he had acquired in the land of Canaan. He went into a land away from his brother Jacob, because their possessions were too great for them to dwell together. The land they sojourned could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau settled in the hill country of Seir. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of Edomites, in the hill country of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. And these are the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Reuel. Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, Mizah. These are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. She bore to Esau Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the chiefs of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau. The chiefs Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korah, Gatam, and Amalek. These are the chiefs of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Adah. These are the sons of Ruel, Esau's son, the chiefs Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These are the chiefs of Ruel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, the chiefs Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the chiefs born of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, and these are their chiefs. These are the sons of Seir the Horite, the inhabitants of the land. Lotan, Shobal, Zibian, Anna, Dishan, Ezra, and Dishan. These are the chiefs of the Horites, the sons of Seir in the land of Edom. The sons of Lotan were Hori and Heman, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. These are the sons of Shobal, Alvan, Manahath, Elbal, Shepha, and Onam. These are the sons of Zibian, Aliah, and Anna. He is the Anna who found the hot springs in the wilderness, as he pastures the donkeys of Zibian his father. These are the children in the wilderness, children of Anna, Dishan, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna. And these are the sons of Dishan, Hamdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Cheran. And these are the sons of Ezra, Bilhan, Zavan, and Akeh. These are the sons of Dishan, Az, and Aaron. These are the chiefs of the Horites, the chief Lotal, Shobal, Zibian, Anna, Dishan, Ezra, and Dishan. These are the chiefs of the Horites, chief by chief in the land of Seir. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom, before any king reigned over the Israelites. El, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, the name of the city being Dinhabah. Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zerah, of Bozrah, reigned in his place. Jobab died, and Husham of the land of the Teemanites reigned in his place. Husham died, and Hadad, the son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, reigned in his place. And the name of Seir being Abith, Hadad died, and Samuel of Massacre reigned in his place. Samuel died, and Shaul of Rehoboth on the Euphrates reigned in his place. Shaul died, and Hanan, the son of Akbor, reigned in his place. Hanan, the son of Akbor, died, and Hadar reigned in his place. The name of the city being Paul, though his wife's name being Mehetab, the daughter of Matred, daughter of Meshezab. And these are the names of the chiefs of Israel, according to their clans and their dwelling places, by their names. The chiefs Timnah, Alva, Jeheth, Aholibamah, Elah, Penan, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Era. These are the chiefs of Edom, according to their dwelling places and the land of their possession. Proverbs 4. Here are sets of God's instruction, and be attentive that you may gain insight. For I give you good precepts. When do not forsake my teaching. When I was a son with my father, tender the only one at the side of my mother, he taught me and said to me, let your heart hold fast my words, keep my commandments, and let get wisdom, good insight. Do not forget, and do not turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she'll keep you. Love her, and she'll guide you. The beginning of wisdom is to get wisdom, and whenever you get insight, prize her highly, and she'll exalt you. She will honor you if you embrace her. She will place on your head a grateful garland. She will bestow on you a beautiful crown. Hear my son, and accept my words, that the years of your life may be many. I have taught you the way of wisdom. I have led you in the path of uprightness. When you walk, your step will not be hampered, and if you run, you will not stumble. Keep hold of instruction, do not let go. Guard off the shoes of your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of evil. Avoid it, do not go on it. Turn away from it and pass on. For they cannot sleep unless they have done wrong. They are robbed of sleep unless they have made someone stumble. Or they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until the full day. The way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know over what they stumble. My son, be attentive to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Let them not escape from your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and healing to all their flesh. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. Put away from your crooked speech, and put demons to far from you. And your eyes look directly forward, and your gaze be straight before you. Wander the path of your feet, and all your ways will be sure. Do not swerve to the right or to the left. Turn your foot away from evil. Psalm 97. The Lord reigns, let the earth rejoice, let the many coastlines be glad. Clouds and thick darkness are all around. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of wisdom. Fire goes before him and burns up his adversaries all around. His lightnings light up the world. Light up the world all around. His light. The earth seeks and trembles, the mountains melt like wax before the Lord of all the earth. The heavens proclaim his righteousness, and all the people see his glory. The worshippers of images are put to shame, who make their boast on worthless idols. Worship him, all you gods. Zion hears and is glad, and the daughters of Judah rejoice, because you reject my sacred law. For you, O Lord, are most high over all the earth. You who are exalted far above all gods. You who love the Lord hate evil. He preserves the life of his saints. He delivers them from the hand of the wicked. Light is sown from the righteous, and joy for the upright in heart. Rejoice in the Lord, O you righteous, and give thanks to his holy name. Now that the sun, I shall now do the Lord's prayer. Please bow your heads, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Please not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.